When I Went to the Library by Ken Roberts. Dear Mr. Winston, my parents said that I have to write and apologize. Dad says he's going to read this letter before it's sent and that I'd make sure my apology sounds truly genuine. So I am truly genuinely sorry for bringing that snake into the library yesterday. My parents say that what I did was wrong, even though the cardboard box was shut, most of the time, and there is no way that snake could have escaped if you hadn't opened the box and dropped it on the floor. My parents say it's my fault for having brought that snake into the library, and I truly genuinely apologize, but I still don't know how I was supposed to find out what kind of snake I had inside that box without bringing the snake right into the library so I could look at snake pictures and then look at the snake and try to find a picture that matched the snake. I told my parents something I didn't get a chance to remind you about before the ambulance took you away. I did come into the library without the snake, first. I left the box outside, hidden under a bush, and tried to borrow a thick green book with lots of snake pictures. You told me that the big green book was a reference book, which meant that it had to stay inside the library, and I couldn't take it out, even for 10 minutes. My parents say I still shouldn't have brought that snake into the library, that I have to be truly, genuinely sorry if I ever hope to watch Galactic Patrol on television again. My parents picked Galactic Patrol because it's my favorite show, although I'm not sure what not watching a television program has to do with bringing a snake into the library. The people at the library say you hate snakes so much that you wouldn't even touch a book with a picture of snakes on the cover, and that is why you won't be back at the library for a few more weeks. If you want, you could watch Galactic Patrol. It's on at 4 p.m. weekdays on Channel 7. There are no snakes on the show because it takes place in space. Did the flowers arrive? Dad picked them out, but I have to pay for them with my allowance for the next 2 months. The flowers are proof that I'm truly, genuinely sorry for having brought that snake into the library. I hope the people who work at the library find that snake soon. Did they look under all the chairs? The snake isn't dangerous. It's a local snake, and there are no poisonous snakes in Manitoba. The people at the library say you know that, too, because that was one of the reasons you decided to move here. I bought that snake from a friend. I paid 1 month's allowance for it, which means that the snake has cost me a total of 3 months' allowance, and I only owned it for 1 hour. Mom says I didn't have to tell you who sold me that snake, so I won't tell you either because Dad says he's going to read this letter. Besides, I don't want you to be mad at anyone else when I am the one who brought that snake into the library yesterday. I am truly, genuinely sorry. I want you to know that I didn't plan to show you that snake. I didn't mean to scare you at all. I knew where the big green snake book was kept. I put the box on a table close to the book and tried to find the right picture. I looked at a picture, and then at the snake, at another picture, and then the snake. I did that 5 times and can tell you that the snake inside the library is not a python, a rattlesnake, an anaconda, an asp, or a cobra. Anyway, I was surprised when he wanted to see what was inside the box because I didn't ask for any help, and there was plenty of people in the library who did need help. Dad says that the fact that I said nothing instead of a snake is proof that I knew when I was doing something wrong, and I brought the snake into the library. I am truly, genuinely sorry, even though my friend Jake Lambert promised me that the snake I brought from him is perfectly harmless. I did tell you that I didn't need any help, and I did have a snake book open in front of me, so I didn't know why you insisted on looking inside the box if you were so afraid of snakes and everything. I don't know why you picked up that box before opening a flap either. If you had left the box on the table and maybe even sat down next to it, then maybe the box would have been all right when you screamed and fainted. You wouldn't have fallen off so far either if you were sitting down. Did you know that you broke out into a rash after you fainted? I thought a person who had touched something like poison ivy to get a rash. I didn't know it was possible to get a rash just by thinking about something, but my parents say it really can happen. I think maybe you did touch something. Maybe you were lying on the floor, that snake slithered over to you and touched you. Did you know that snake skin feels dry, not wet and slimy at all? I just thought of something. Maybe everyone's looking in the library for that snake, but it's not in the library. Maybe it crawled into one of your pockets or up your sleeve and rode with you to the hospital. Wouldn't that be funny? Why don't you get one of the nurses to check? If it's not in your clothes, it might have crawled out and might be hiding inside the hospital someplace. I think people should be looking there, too. I'm sure you will be talking to the people in the library to make sure they find that snake before you go back to work. I hope they do find it, even though my parents say I can't keep it. If that snake is found, could you ask the people at the library to give me a call? I would be interested in knowing if it's all right. And if they do find that snake and do decide to give me a call, could you ask them if they could compare that snake with the snake pictures in that big green reference book before they call me? I would still like to know what kind of snake I own for an hour. I'm truly, genuinely sorry. Your friend, Kara.